Merry coronavirus, everyone. I am home. I am doing stuff that is fun, but gotta go to work tomorrow no matter what because I'm a travel agent, so I can't wait to get into that maelstrom, as I mentioned in my last video. Anyways, we got another Transformers reveal today. As I was going through my characters recently in these videos, you saw that they were kind of building in terms of the guys that I was looking forward to getting the most. The size of the bots were getting bigger and bigger. Last week was Soundwave and his little sidekick Laserbeak. So this week you're probably expecting somebody at least as big and beautiful and important as Soundwave. And possibly a Megatron, possibly a Galvatron, possibly maybe a Starscream. I'm gonna play a trick on you today. Today's a 2-for-1. And by 2-for-1, I mean 4-for-1. We're going smaller. These are the 4 other main cassette tapes that Soundwave ejects from his body and gets to do his nasty business. So we have Buzzsaw, Rumble, Ravage, and Frenzy. Now, looking at these guys, Buzzsaw here is basically the exact same as Laserbeak. He turns into like a little raven or some sort of bird of prey. Buzzsaw is a little more... Laserbeak's kind of a spaz. He just kind of likes to cause chaos and he's also very good at being subtle and spying on people, but he also likes to cause a lot of chaos and get right in there. Buzzsaw is a little more measured in his destruction and takes a little more joy in it, but likes to do it the proper way, I guess. He's a little less overall just crazy than Laserbeak is. He's more of an artist when it comes to his kills. Then we have Rumble. Now, let's discuss this a little bit. There was actually a mix-up in the TV show. So I guess in the comic books before the TV show, Rumble was supposed to be red and black, Frenzy was supposed to be the blue. Now, in the production of the Transformers TV show, they actually reversed it. So Rumble was actually the blue with the pile drivers, and Frenzy was the red and didn't have any pile drivers. So there is always this confusion over these two guys, like why is Rumble red or is he blue? And Rumble's the character people always seem to like better than Frenzy because of the pile drivers. It made him a little more unique and that's this cool ability, right? So in these ones, they both come with pile drivers, so I guess you can make Rumble whoever you feel should be Rumble. To me, he's always been blue because I started watching the cartoon first, and to me that's where the whole thing is set. Transformers Central is that original cartoon, and everything kind of goes from there, in my opinion. Even if the comics did come first, to me Rumble will always be blue. Now Rumble is, he's kind of like a smart aleck, sarcastic kind of guy who loves to cause destruction. And with these pile drivers that he can break out, he pounds them into the ground and can cause like earthquakes and stuff like that. Is a pretty loyal follower of the Decepticons and loves to just cause chaos for their side whenever it comes in handy. Frenzy, on the other hand, is the same thing. He's a hothead. He loves to fight, but he's more psychotic. Rumble's a little more like in control of himself and stuff, but Frenzy's just like, ah! And he'll just rush into any situation no matter what, even though they're a lot smaller than most Transformers. He just has no regard for anything. He just throws himself into the fire no matter what's happening. And then the last one, this is my personal favorite of Soundwave's cassette tapes. He was the first one I got as a kid. I never had Soundwave, but I did have some of the cassettes. And so Ravage is like, he turns into a jaguar and he's like, kind of like Laserbeak in a way. He's very good at spying. He's also very terrifying and will, charge into battle no problem. But he's very sensitive to the light, and so he's very good in the shadows. He's a lurker and a spire and a subterfuge kind of character, right? So those are kind of his best traits, but he also likes to fight as well. So now here's a look at the original toys from the 80s. So they were not very complex. It's basically, 3 transformation pieces and you're done. Like, they literally take 5 seconds to transform. So these ones are also, they're very small and they're very uncomplicated to transform. But still, you can tell these are a lot more detailed. And the original character in the 80s, like, Rumble never came with the pile drivers and stuff like that. He just had his hands and some blasters and stuff like that. So these are going to be a lot more detailed, even though they are going to be very small. They're going to be, way better than the 80s toys. And just so you can get a feel for these characters and stuff, here's a few video clips in a row of the 4 of them. The Buzzsaw clip is very short. I found it very hard to find a good sequence in one of the G1 episodes. I'm sure there's one out there. I just couldn't really locate it that easily. So his is really short and nothing much really happens, but you can get a sense of the other 3 characters in these clips here.
The console is now inoperative. I can no longer maintain weapon control. No matter! Send Buzzsaw and Laserbeak to take care of the Earth pests!
Optimus Prime cares a lot for his fellow robots, and he doesn't want anything to happen to them. I think he'd make a neat president.
Ravage, this key's not for you. Don't think he likes being a prisoner.
Can't say I blame him. I'm surprised the Decepticons haven't tried to rescue him.
I'm not. They don't care about anyone, not even their own. Hey, Ravage, watch this. Here's your friend Megatron to keep you company.
When we get back to Cybertron, will you make me a big house with a 4-car garage? Holograms look so real, nobody will know the difference.
Mirage, you just gave me a great idea.
A hologram?
That's right, Prime, but I mean a big one.
What did you have in mind?
A gigantic illusion that'll trick the Decepticons into coming to us on our terms.
It might just work.
What's the hologram of?
I've got an idea.
I just saw Prime. He told me Teletran 1's located a secret supply of rocket fuel.
Where?
Not too far from here, about 140 kilometers due west.
Then maybe we can go back to Cybertron?
Why, there's enough rocket fuel at that base to make 4 trips to Cybertron. Come on, let's tell Ironhide. Make him feel better.
But what about Ravage?
Don't worry about him. He's not going anywhere.
It's Ravage!
He's getting away!
After him!
Can't you do anything right, Skywarp? Watch it, you metallic mini meatball, or I'll step on you. You and one army, you maxi turkey.
All right, shape up, you two. There's still a lot of damage to repair. Look who's talking, Thundercracker. Rumble, start emptying the water pumps.
Hey, I didn't volunteer for this geeky assignment. I want Skywarp's job. But Frenzy, Geekworks made for a geek. Like you. Get off me, you walking junkyard!
Silence! Megatron!
But Megatron, we thought you were,
Well, think again. I've only lost the starship, not the war. Now I have some unfinished business with the good Dr. Arkeville. He's gone, and so is Starscream. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
And there you go. So, all there is left to it is to get these guys unboxed and then get them transformed. And we'll see what they all look like. Pitter patter, let's get at her. I think we're gonna do Buzzsaw and my version of Rumble first. Here they're called just Frenzy and Buzzsaw, so they're obviously considering a blue Frenzy in these toys, but I am going opposite. Alright, so instructions. I'm surprised they're that thick, actually. And the card, only one card it looks like, so they're both on the same card. Frenzy and Buzzsaw. So, looks like they each come with a cassette tape case, just like Laserbeak did in the Soundwave kit from last week. Oh, cassette tapes, the 80s. Glorious times. And it looks like we've got some, so these are the blasters that Rumble and Frenzy had in the original 80s toys. So they look just like them, just more detailed now. And then, I'm not exactly sure what those are. I'm sure it's to hold the pile drivers or something. And then there's Rumble's pile drivers. Here is the Buzzsaw. I already know how to transform him because I've done Laserbeak. And there is Rumble. So, lots of little goodies. Let's open up these dudes. It's basically the same sort of setup. We've got a much more thicker instruction manual than I foresaw. And Rumble and Jaguar, they call him. He is a Jaguar after all. So, of course, we got 2 more cassette tape cases. Frenzy's pile drivers, because to me, Rumble is blue, as you know. And then the same thing here, so Frenzy's blasters and whatever that is to hold the pile drivers, I'm assuming. And here is Ravage. And here is Frenzy. So, there's all the goods. Let's switch over to time lapse and I will transform these guys. And I'm assuming this is going to be a very short time lapse section of this video. So there you have it. Frenzy, Rumble with pile drivers, Buzzsaw, and Ravage. All very easy transformations. Ravage's had a couple of points where I was like, what do they mean there? And then it was like, oh, okay. But yeah, they were all so simple. And they all look fantastic. Like, they're just super small, but like, they're really detailed and they look, you know, just like they did in the cartoons. Yeah, especially the heads. I love the faces. They're perfect. And then Rumble with the pile drivers is just like, that's huge because that was such a big part of who he was. And to actually have a figure of him that comes with those is pretty cool. Now, they look small. They look unimportant maybe for those of you who don't know Transformers. But to me, the Transformers was an interesting series. It seemed to follow, I find a lot of times in the things I like, the bad guys never have as many important characters, I guess, as the good guys do. Like Star Wars, how many Jedi were there? How many important rebels and stuff were there? And then you get to the bad guys, and there's like, yeah, a few guys at the top who are important, and then it's all faceless stormtroopers, right? A lot of times in good versus evil stories like that, I find that's the case. And Transformers was no exception. I mean, you had so many Autobot characters that were so recognizable and played such a key role in the series. And then you looked at the Decepticons, and it was like on Earth. I mean, you had Shockwave and Cybertron, but he wasn't really a factor a lot of the time. You had Megatron, Soundwave, the three jets, Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp. And then after that, the pickings were really slim. The more guys kind of entered the fray as the series went on. You know, you had the Constructicons, and some more jets came along. But compared to the Autobots roster, like, it was so many less main characters. So these guys actually played a lot bigger role than they looked like they may have. And to anybody who loves Transformers and loves the G1 cartoon, they would instantly be able to tell you who these characters are, right? Like, they may be small, but they are mighty, and they are important, and they are pretty cool. So it was kind of, I wanted this, after doing Soundwave and getting so close to the end of my run on these, it was like I kind of wanted to do this kind of April Fool's trick, even though it's not April Fool's, where I kind of dial it back a little after Soundwave and go back to the rest of his minions. So that was kind of my thinking on this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. These are awesome characters. If you've never watched Transformers before, I highly recommend to get into it, because it's amazing, and you will definitely recognize these guys as well as all of the other characters that I have opened up to this point. So until next week's is back to a normal kind of schedule. It's the last big one I have for now, and it is going to be a big one. So stay tuned for that, and until then, stay healthy, I guess.